Hey everyone, welcome to the video, and in this video I'm going to share the exact steps I followed to scale an e-commerce business from zero to the first $1 million in revenue. My name is Rish and I work with multiple e-commerce businesses to help scale their stores to 7 figures in revenue. And in this video, unlike other videos that you might have seen, I'm not just going to talk about how to find winner products or how to find your next winner to generate revenue, but the exact blueprint that I followed so that you can replicate it and do the same with your e-commerce business. So let's get started. The first step of the process is to find or create products. So if you already create products, whether it's digital products or info products, you can directly use those products and start selling those. However, if you do not have your own products, you can find products on dropshipping websites and tools such as Oberlo and Spocket. Those are the two tools that I really recommend. The other option is that you can find your own suppliers that can supply you products directly. And if you can manufacture products yourself, that's going to be the next level, that you can manufacture your own products. Now, the second step in the process is to set up your e-commerce store. And there are two ways that you can do this. The first approach is to go on a marketplace like Amazon or eBay. And the second approach is to actually set up your own store using something like Shopify or WooCommerce. Now, I recommend the second approach because this gives you more control as well as benefits such as branding. So you can really build your own brand and control the pricing and audience data if you set up your own store with Shopify, let's say. To set up your own store with Shopify, you need a product CSV, which is a sheet of all the products that you're going to set up on the store. If you're using one of the dropshipping apps like Oberlo or Spocket, then you can directly use the app integration to get the products from there to your Shopify store. The next thing that you will need to set up your store is going to be a conversion optimized product page. And for optimizing your product page for conversions, you have to make sure you have good product descriptions, high quality pictures and creatives of your products, as well as an optimized call to action button. Now, the first call to action button on your product page is going to be your add to cart button. And I recommend playing around with different text as well as background colors to find the optimal add to cart button for your product page. The other things that I highly recommend on your Shopify store is opt-ins, so you can drive traffic to your store and have them opt in with their email address or with their phone numbers to your audience list. You should also set up analytics, so you can start with something free like Google Analytics so that you're able to track the data of the users who land on your store. So those are all the things that you need to get started with your store. Now, the third step in the process after you've set up your store is to find your audience. And this is key because these are the people who are going to come to your store and then eventually buy your products. Now, most beginners are going to start finding their audience on Facebook ads, but there are actually multiple ways of finding an audience for your e-commerce store. So the first one is ad platforms. So you can start with Facebook ads or Instagram ads or TikTok ads or Pinterest ads, depending on who your target audience is. The other way that you can get traffic and audience to your store is to use something called influencer marketing, by which you reach out to potential influencers and creators who can create content around your product and brand. The other way to get an audience is to use search. So you can optimize your product content for search engines like Google and YouTube, and you can also run ads on search engines to get this audience to your store. So these are all the different ways, but what's important here is for you to know the audience that you want, because when you understand your target audience, you can have the products optimized for conversions for this particular target audience. So that was step 3, and now we're going to move on to the fourth step of the process. So we've built the store, we've defined the audience, and we've understood the different channels that we can use to drive traffic or audience to our store. Now, in the fourth step, we're going to find winners. Now, what I call winners and what I define as winners is to basically find a product, audience, and pricing fit. This means that you need to find the right people who will pay the right price for the products that you're showcasing on your store. And once you've found this winner fit, then you'll be in a position to actually have good conversions on your store. The best ways that I recommend to find this fit is to run various experiments on different channels. Let's say, for example, on Facebook ads, you can run catalog campaigns or carousel ad campaigns in order to check which ads or which product creatives have the highest CTR or click-through rate, so that you can see that these are the products that the audience is resonating with, because they are clicking on these products more than all of the other products that you have on your store. Once this audience comes to your website, you can also check the click-through rate on the add to cart button. So this is going to tell you how many people who are visiting your product page are actually adding the product to cart. And if your pricing is perfect, if your audience targeting is correct, then your add to cart rate and your click-through rate should be as high as possible. And when the numbers are higher, you know that these products and these audiences are going to convert better. And as you start finding winners, you want to make a list of the top 3 or the top 5 winners in your product catalog, so that from there we can move on to the 5th and the last step of the process. So now that you've found the winners, in step 5, you're going to scale the budgets on your campaigns and just scale your campaigns in general to drive as much traffic as possible to your store. Now let's define how much traffic do you really need on your store to make this $1 million in revenue, to hit this milestone or benchmark. So to calculate this, all you need to do is 1, find your conversion rate on your store. So let's say your conversion rate is 2%. Now, if you're using Shopify, you can find this number on Shopify Analytics. If you've integrated something like Google Analytics for tracking, then you can find this number there. But let's assume that your conversion rate is 2%. And you're able to drive 100 people to your store. So for every 100 people that come to your store, 2 people will buy a product from you. And let's say if your average ticket size, which is the average value of each order that a customer places on your store, is around $100. So with an average ticket size of $100 and a conversion rate of 2%, you can see that to make $1 million, you need 500,000 people to come to your store. Because when 500,000 people come to your store and 2% of them make a purchase with an average ticket size of $100, you'll be at $1 million in revenue. So if you're able to get these 500,000 people on your store, you will be able to hit your revenue benchmark. So now that we know the goal of traffic that we want to drive to the store, we can then start scaling the campaigns to match the traffic. So for example, if you're paying $50 per visitor on your Facebook ads or on your Google ads or on your TikTok ad campaigns, you now want to increase the budgets on these ad campaigns so that you can eventually target 500,000 people on your store. And the best way to do this is the strategy that has worked for me personally and a lot of my e-commerce clients as well, is to increase your campaign budgets by 20 to 25% per week. So you don't want to go beyond the 20 to 25% mark, because the algorithms on ad platforms are best suited to scale at these budget levels. And once you're able to scale your ad campaigns to drive this traffic, you should be able to easily hit your milestone, which is your first $1 million in revenue. Now, like I said in step 4, that you need to find your winners. This is a constant process, and you need to keep going back to step 4 so that you can find new winners and scale those campaigns as well until you hit your revenue target. So the first time you may not be able to hit $1 million with your first product. So you need to go back to your winner campaigns and then see what other products could become potential winners until you hit your milestone of $1 million. Now keep in mind that this entire process is focused on generating revenue for the first $1 million. But the process to make your first $10 million or to make a very high profit margin is going to be completely different. And if you're interested to know the process to scale to the first $10 million, feel free to comment on this video so I can make a video about that. Thank you so much for watching. That's all for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.